Hi, my name is Emily.
And my name is Dennis, and we're the introduction coordinators of ESN Amsterdam.
We're here to welcome you to the city. Let's go!
ESN Amsterdam is the student organization for international and exchange students at the University of Amsterdam and the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences.
We're here for you and to make sure you have plenty of things to do in the city. We want to make sure that Amsterdam feels like your second home.
If parties aren't your thing, we also have other casual activities such as sports, cultural or social events.
Like having city trips, going to museums and fun boat tours. Or going to the Nemo Science Museum behind us.
Need personal assistance? We got you. If you sign up for our local buddy program, you can learn more about the Dutch culture together with a local buddy.
And we can eat stroopwafels together. Gezellig, hè?
Lekker. Can't join physically?
Don't worry, you can join one of the online events to keep you in touch with the rest of ESN Amsterdam.
Wow, Amsterdam is a big city. That's why we collaborate with local businesses to give you amazing deals.
With the ESN card, you can get discounts from our local and international partners to make your life a little bit easier. So don't forget to get your own card and check our website for all the deals.
So, if you'd like to stay in touch or have questions about life in Amsterdam, make sure to drop by our office right behind us.
Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for upcoming events. And if you want to help us out, become part of the family by joining one of the committees.
So now you met ESN Amsterdam.
And we hope to meet you soon at one of our events.
Hi guys, welcome to Amsterdam. I'm Dennis, this is Emily, and we are the ESN Amsterdam introduction coordinators.
The student organization for international and exchange students from the University of Amsterdam and the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences are part of the larger Erasmus student network in Europe. We set up an entire program tailored just for you to make sure you have an amazing start in this new city and new university.
Unfortunately, with the current restrictions and planning regarding the coronavirus, we were unable to host a completely physical event. But this program will help you with settling into Amsterdam and the Netherlands. It's also a great opportunity to make new friends, get to know essential information about your university, and a chance to win some prizes, regardless if you're joining just online or also the physical events for this week.
In this official welcome section, we'll be talking more about all the practical information about your new university, where to go with questions, how the app works, and we also have guest speakers from both the University of Applied Sciences and the University of Amsterdam.
After we have the more formal, practical university topics out of the way, it's time for some more fun stuff. We prepared an entire Amsterdam survival guide just for you, with all the hotspots of the city and tips and tricks on how to survive Amsterdam and the Dutch culture in the Netherlands. And the nice thing is, since this is being premiered on our app, you can always find all of this information back at your own leisure.
We also have several online sessions today after this video for you to meet and interact with other fellow new international students in the city. The sessions will be workshops aimed at making sense of the Dutch culture and learning how to be successful in a multicultural teamwork by Guido de Wild. There's also Dutch Crash Course, where you will learn your first new Dutch phrases, such as how are you, which in Dutch is hoe gaat het, and also learn how to be able to say different things in cafes or restaurants and order something. Therefore, it is very important and useful for you to join this.
The rest of the week we also have plenty of other events to meet your fellow international students. So check out the events tab to see which events you'll be joining this week.
So about that, the app has several tabs and lots of functionalities. On the Home tab, you can find how the app works and switch to the other tabs to see where you need to go.
We also have the Events tab to find all the events you'll be joining this week, the Map tab to find our most important locations here in Amsterdam, and the Chat tab to chat with your group and match with fellow students. And finally, we have an Info tab where I can find all the most important information regarding your stay in Amsterdam.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And don't worry if you're only joining online for this introduction week. ESN Amsterdam hosts lots of events during the whole academic year where you're able to meet other international students.
Yes, thanks for that, Amelie. And we'd also like to take the opportunity to thank our fellow ESN Amsterdam board members for making this event happen. And we're also here for you should you have any other questions. And we'd like to give them a short introduction now as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Nilanti and I'm this year's Integration Coordinator. I will be overseeing mainly the buddy program, language exchange and social Erasmus. So yeah, I'm really excited to welcome you all to Amsterdam.
Hi guys, it's Dia here. I'm ESN Amsterdam's Activities Coordinator, and there are three main things that I focus on in ESN. One of them being I organize trips, then I organize sport activities, and I also take care of international culture events. All in all, making sure that everybody has a great time while being in Amsterdam and that they can make new friends and enjoy this beautiful city and country and so forth.
Hi everyone, I'm Wietske and I'm the Treasurer and Partnerships Coordinator of ESN Amsterdam. I'm responsible for all the finances and for all the partners that we have.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I'm the Secretary and IT Coordinator this upcoming semester, which means that I'm responsible for answering all incoming emails. As IT Coordinator, I'm maintaining the website and the app. I'm looking forward to meeting you all next semester. Bye!
Hi everyone, my name is Subbu. I am the head of PR for ESN Amsterdam this year. So if you see me at events with my camera, clicking photos for Instagram, come say hi.
Hello everyone, my name is John Lee and I am the president of ESN Amsterdam. My goal is to make sure that you have an amazing time during your exchange in Amsterdam. Together with my fellow board members, we organize tons of activities so you can discover the Dutch culture and make friends for life. I can't wait to meet you all.
Yes, all these people and even more people behind the scenes are always here to support you and to answer any of your questions.
On that note, we also have someone important to welcome you from the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences.
Hi, my name is Glenn Meijer and I'm Director at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And together with our friends from the Amsterdam University, I'd really like to welcome you here in Amsterdam. You made a great choice to come over. We have seen a year full of difficulties, and coming from an online back to an on-campus situation is also something new. And actually we like to ask you to also help us in how we do this properly. But for you, one thing is very important, and that is to create your networks, meet other students, and create something which you can take along in your life. If you need help, we're here to do so. both at the University of Applied Sciences, at the University of Amsterdam. We really like you to make your stay really worthwhile. And with that, I would like to wish you a fantastic introduction at the Erasmus Student Network and a great time here in Amsterdam. Thank you.
Yes, you're quite the brave students to still go studying abroad even in these turbulent times.
And since this period might be more challenging than other periods, your study progress and mental health are extra important in this semester as well. Therefore, we have invited someone from Student Services from the University of Amsterdam to talk about the services offered to you from the universities.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Eindhoven and I'm one of the Central Student Councillors of the University of Amsterdam. You are about to start your study at the UvA or at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And how do you do that in this time and age? How does the pandemic affect your life and your study at either university? Are you still in your home country or have you traveled to Amsterdam already? You have come or will come to Amsterdam to study, to go to class. And the social aspect of studying is very important, as we have learned during this pandemic. Like participating in the ESN introduction days, like you're doing now. Meeting new people, making friends for life, getting to know the city. But sometimes things happen that you did not expect and do not want. You find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. You might be facing culture shock or homesickness. All acceptable and something that is part of your study abroad experience, and it will fade away and you will grow to love living in Amsterdam and studying at either university. And you will also adjust to our way of life, maybe even have discussions with your professor about things that are very unlikely and sometimes not even acceptable in your home country. If things do not go according to plan, you feel lonely, you have problems getting started, or you see that studying and living in Amsterdam is much harder than you thought, ask for help. We have student counselors and student psychologists. And at the University of Amsterdam, we also have study advisors. And they can all help you. Check the website of either university for their contact information. And just remember to get help, to ask for help if you have any problems or questions in regards to personal issues, but also in regards to your study. Enjoy your stay and your study in Amsterdam.
All links for the student services can also be found on our app and on our website, and you can also find them on the websites of the University of Amsterdam and the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences.
Wow, that's a lot of information to digest, right?
Yeah, and that's already a wrap for the official welcome. Next up, the Amsterdam Survival Guide. Hey, welcome to Amsterdam, the city where you'll be studying. I hope you're just as excited as we are. We made this survival guide to show you some tips and tricks on how to survive this city. We're going to talk about a few things in this survival guide, including transportation, Dutch food and culture, and many more things.
So here's a little introduction about Amsterdam. The city dates back to the 12th century and it's known for its beautiful canals and bridges. Some people even call it the Venice of the North. We have more than 165 canals and a population of 800,000 inhabitants, which of 100,000 are actually students. The universities of Amsterdam are the University of Amsterdam, Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences and the Vrije Universiteit.
All right, the next part is going to be about the Dutch food and culture. We're going to talk about who the Dutch people actually are, our language, the food and the Dutch grading system, and much more.
One important thing is, you might have heard about Holland, but that's not the Netherlands. Holland consists of two provinces, South Holland and North Holland, and the Netherlands is the whole country, including the Caribbean islands. So please, from now on, call it the Netherlands. And this, where you see in the screen, is the King of the Netherlands, Willem-Alexander.
So you're in the Netherlands trying to have your first conversation with a Dutch person. You might be getting a bit nervous, so how do you approach this situation? But first, let's start off with what you might have heard about us.
Something you might have heard is that Dutch people are very punctual and they like to be on time. So whenever you have a class that starts at 9, please make sure you are there at 9 and maybe even a bit earlier, because the professor might not even let you in class. Another thing is the dinner time. Dutch people tend to eat dinner at 6 p.m. So if you're invited at someone's place at 8, maybe you should have dinner before. Also with the restaurants, the kitchens usually close around 10 p.m.
And what you also might have heard is that we Dutch people love money. So there's a term going Dutch, which means that we always split the bill for everything. So let's say you go out for drinks or for dinner, don't be surprised if you get a payment request, also a tikkie afterwards to split the bill.
Another thing is that Dutch people are very tall. The Netherlands has the tallest men in the world and the second tallest women in the world. Lastly, one other thing is that Dutch people are very social, but Dutch people have their own circle of friends and their own work and people that they know from before, so it might be a bit hard to become friends with them in the first place.
But wait, while this might all be true, you might encounter some situations where the things we just described don't really apply. What we just described were generalized stereotypes.
As an example, look at Dennis. He's not that tall and he loves to hang out with international friends.
Yeah, and as you might know, Amsterdam is home to 178 different nationalities, so there are a lot of different people here in Amsterdam.
Within our student organization, we have plenty of opportunities for you to meet with other Dutch students and other international students and even learn the Dutch language.
So make sure to join all of our events to meet new people.
And make new friends while you're at it.
So now that you know how Dutch people are like, how do you talk to them? Obviously, we speak Dutch here in the Netherlands, but no worries. If you don't know any Dutch words, we have the highest level of English proficiency in a non-native English-speaking country.
However, Dutch people do appreciate if you speak Dutch to them. Therefore, our student organization offers Dutch classes and also a language exchange program if you want to improve, for example, your French or Spanish that you learned in high school.
So obviously you want to know what you can eat here. Well, we Dutch love our bread. As you can see, we love the chocolate sprinkles and the peanut butter on our bread. And if we move on to the dinner, we have dishes such as stamppot, pea soup, and obviously the famous Dutch herring.
As for snacks, we really like sweet stuff such as tompoes, which is a pastry that we eat on King's Day on the birthday of the king, and they usually sell it in orange color. And we also like stroopwafels. Other type of snacks are, for example, frituur, which are all fried sort of stuff, such as kroket or bitterballen, and cheese. And we really like febo, which is the typical place where you take frituur stuff from the wall.
But don't worry, if this food doesn't look appetizing, just remember that you can always visit your local Japanese or Turkish supermarket and you can make those amazing dishes at home so you don't have to be homesick. Alright, let's talk about the Dutch grading system. The Dutch grading system is a scale ranging from 1 to 10, with a 5.5 being a pass. And don't worry if you get a 5.5, because for a Dutch person that's already enough reason to celebrate. And also, getting higher than an 8 is almost nearly impossible.
We have some good news though. Most of the programs in the Netherlands don't have the bell curve, which means that your performance won't be affected by your peers' performance. So you can help each other out, share notes, and also if you fail an exam, it's okay because we have resits.
Yeah, so don't stress if you don't pass in one go. So you're a student in a new city and you're probably wondering, hey, what can I do? So let's start off with some hotspots. As you can see on the map, there are several hotspots highlighted, such as Albert Kuipmarkt, de Crea, NDSM, and de Pijp.
Another thing you can do in Amsterdam is go clubbing with your friends. We have Kokos every Wednesday and it's the International Student Night. It's in Rembrandtplein where you can find lots of other bars as well and nightclubs. Another hotspot in the city for clubbing is Leidseplein. Apart from that, we also have beautiful parks throughout the city. Some of the examples where you can go picnic or just have a barbecue with your friends can be Oosterpark, Wandelpark, Westerpark and Sarfati Park.
And if you want to enjoy some Dutch culture, make sure you visit one of the many museums here in Amsterdam, such as the Rijksmuseum or Van Gogh Museum. You can also buy a museum card, which is a yearly subscription where you can visit all the museums for a reduced price.
As Dennis mentioned before, one of the hotspots in the city is NDSM. It's in the north of Amsterdam. You have to take the ferry to get there. And it has the IJhallen, which is one of the biggest flea markets where all students go because things are very cheap there. And we also have festivals over there, which with some of the, I don't know if you have already heard of this, the DJs, Tiesto, Afrojack, they're all Dutch.
So when you arrive in Amsterdam, through Central Station, you might come across the building across the water, which is the Amsterdam Tower. Make sure to go there, because then you get an amazing view of Amsterdam, and you can always try to go on the swing, because it's the highest swing in the whole of Europe. And a great way to explore the city is through the water, because Amsterdam has amazing canals. And what you can do, you can rent a boat, and you can drive the boat yourself, and then you can see the amazing sights here in Amsterdam.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the activities and organizations that we have on campus. There's a lot of things to do, and so we're just going to name a few. You have the USC, which is the University Sports Center, where you can do all sorts of sports, such as fencing, football, baseball, basketball, whatever you want.
And if you're not a fan of sports, you can also always do cultural stuff at CREA. This is the cultural hotspot for both universities, where you can take acting classes, pottery, or do theater. And if you're looking for clubs or associations that fit to you more personally, such as a religious club or a Spanish club, you can also find them on campus. And for example, ESN Amsterdam, we offer activities for international students and exchange students, such as the Dutch language program, buddy program, or trips abroad or domestically.
So now we're going to talk to you a little bit about transportation and how do you get to which place in Amsterdam. As you might have seen, you have the OV chip card, which is a transportation card in the Netherlands, where you can charge up money every time in the ticket machine in the stations, and you can use it for all types of transportation, such as metro, train, trams, and buses. You also have the ferry, which connects the center of Amsterdam to the north part of Amsterdam, and this one is free of charge. However, public transport can be a bit expensive, especially for a student budget, so we have biking. Biking in Amsterdam is very common, it's a way of life, and everyone loves to cycle. Dutch people are taught to cycle since they're really young. There's 1.5 bikes per person in this city. It's crazy. And there's so many cycle paths that you can get anywhere you want with your bike.
So you're probably listening to this and wondering, hey, where do I get a bike? We would really recommend Swapfiets. For a monthly subscription fee, you get a bike from them, and don't worry if it breaks or you get a flat tire, they'll fix it for you. But the other alternative is obviously going to a physical store to buy a bike, or you could always look up online on Marktplaats, for example, to buy a bike. Yeah, make sure you don't buy a bike from a shady street dealer for like 50 euros, because that bike is probably stolen from someone else, so don't do that. All right, now some general biking rules in Amsterdam. Make sure to watch out for the tram rails. You don't want to get stuck in them and then you probably fall and hurt yourself, so really watch out for that. And obviously use your bells to pass, because you don't want to hit someone while you're passing someone. And make sure to don't use your phone on your bike, even if it's just calling or texting or checking Google Maps. Don't do that, you'll get a fine. And obviously put lights on your bike, because if it gets dark and the police will see you, you get a fine. And always double lock your bike, because in Amsterdam a lot of bicycles get stolen.
Even though Dutch people love cycling, it is also common that it rains a lot here. So they want to know when exactly it's going to rain in order to know at what time should they leave the house. That's why we have a lot of useful apps to know exactly when it's going to rain. Some of these apps are Bauner Radar and Bauner Alarm, and you can know exactly at what time it's going to rain. But we also have other useful apps that you should use when you come to Amsterdam. Especially if you don't feel like cooking, we have a lot of delivery apps such as Thuisbezorg, Deliveroo and Uber Eats. And there's another really nice option for students, especially because it's for a cheaper budget, which is called Too Good To Go, where you can buy food from stores or restaurants when the expiration date is very close, and then they offer you for a very cheap price.
All right, some other essential apps that you might want to download is, for example, Ticket Swap. So let's say you want to go to an event, but you missed a ticket sale. No worries, when you go on Ticket Swap, you can find people who want to offer tickets, so you can still go to your favorite event. And let's say you want to meet up with your friends, but you don't know when everyone's availability is. You can download Datumprikker and send it to all of your friends, so you can get a nice overview on what everyone's availability is. And the Tikkie is the app we use for payment requests. So let's say you want to split the bill after dinner or drinks, you can send them a Tikkie, and then you can get all the money you want. And lastly, we have Wie betaalt wat. This is a great app to divide expenses, and it's really useful when you live with people, so everyone pays the same, for example, when you buy toilet paper. All right, and now Zoom. You probably all know it and used it in a previous year, but it's a great way to communicate online with your friends and family. And let's say you still have some courses online next year, it's a great way to join. In the Netherlands, when we want to communicate with each other, we use WhatsApp. It's a chat function where you can chat with your friends and family. And also download Facebook and Instagram and give us a follow to make sure you're up to date with all the ESN events.
So after all the information we just gave you and all the fun stuff that you can do, now it's time for some student budget tips and basically some recommendations of how you can save your money during your exchange. In terms of supermarket options, we have several supermarkets in Amsterdam. The most cheap options that we have are Lidl and Dirk. Then we have Jumbo and Albert Heijn that you will see everywhere, which are still quite affordable prices and more specialized products. And then we also have the Markt, where you can find more organic and more expensive options. Other tips for student budget are to use bol.com, which is like the Dutch Amazon, where you can buy all sorts of things and shop online. We also have Marktplaats, which is like the eBay, where you can find second-hand products. And in terms of stores, Action is the place to go for students because everything is cheap there. You can find everything you need, super practical stuff. Same with HEMA, but then more high-quality stuff.
So since you'll be studying in Amsterdam, you obviously need a roof above your head. Well, luckily for you, we have some tips and tricks on how to find good accommodation. We really recommend going through your university website first to see if they offer any student accommodation. But if you miss out on that one, you have to go into the private market. And we really recommend for you to start looking early. And don't be surprised if you come across really expensive rooms, which are not even in the center of the city. And you can also go on Facebook groups to see if people would rent out their apartment. But be aware of scammers. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah, lucky for you, ESN Amsterdam will also help you with saving money, because we offer the ESN card, which gives you exclusive access to our events, and you can also get discounts with our partners, such as cafes, restaurants, or even for renting a boat. And good thing is, when you go abroad to another ESN section, you can also use it there.
Last but not least, you're probably wondering where are you going to study and how are the locations distributed throughout the city. Both universities have different locations, and the main campuses are actually the Rooter Island campus for the UvA and the Amstel campus for the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. Luckily, they both share the metro station Westplein, which means that it's very easy to go from one to the other and meet other students from different universities. One last thing to know is that our office of ESN Amsterdam is located at CREA, which is at the UvA Rooter Island campus. So if you have any questions, please drop by and say hi to us, and we hope to see you there.
So yeah, that was a lot of information to digest, but luckily for you, you can always rewatch it whenever you feel like it. Please follow our socials to stay up to date, and we really hope you enjoyed this survival guide. And thanks everyone for making it all the way to the end of our official welcome and survival guide. We hope all information we provided so far was very useful, and now's the time for the more fun events.
As we said before, check the event calendar to see what's next in the program. See you there. Bye!
Doei!
Hi, my name is Emily.
And my name is Dennis, and we're the introduction coordinators of ESN Amsterdam.
We're here to welcome you to the city. Let's go!
ESN Amsterdam is the student organization for international and exchange students at the University of Amsterdam and the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences.
We're here for you and to make sure you have plenty of things to do in the city. We want to make sure that Amsterdam feels like your second home.
If parties aren't your thing, we also have other casual activities such as sports, cultural or social events.
Like having city trips, going to museums and fun boat tours. Or going to the Nemo Science Museum behind us.
Need personal assistance? We got you. If you sign up for our local buddy program, you can learn more about the Dutch culture together with a local buddy.
And we can eat stroopwafels together. Gezellig, hè?
Lekker. Can't join physically?
Don't worry, you can join one of the online events to keep you in touch with the rest of ESN Amsterdam.
Wow, Amsterdam is a big city. That's why we collaborate with local businesses to give you amazing deals.
With the ESN card, you can get discounts from our local and international partners to make your life a little bit easier. So don't forget to get your own card and check our website for all the deals.
So, if you'd like to stay in touch or have questions about life in Amsterdam, make sure to drop by our office right behind us.
Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for upcoming events. And if you want to help us out, become part of the family by joining one of the committees.
So now you met ESN Amsterdam.
And we hope to meet you soon at one of our events.